Netflix lost $2.8 billion in a single afternoon. Not from a bad movie, not from losing subscribers. They just walked away from a deal. And the company, you will not be surprised that outplayed them, just bought Warner Brothers, DC, Harry Potter, and Game of Thrones in just one move. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about that, and I'm going to be breaking down that new $111 billion deal that just reshuffled all of Hollywood. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Tanveer Talks, and I'm your host, Tanveer. And today we are going to be covering what I generally believe is the single biggest consolidation in Hollywood history. As you guys already know, Paramount Skydance, led by David Allison, has just bought Warner Brothers, defeating Netflix, and they bought it for $111 billion. And it's going to be the biggest merger we've ever seen. And if you know, back in December 2025, last year, Netflix was going to own Warner Brothers Discovery. And they had agreed on a deal which was worth around, $82 billion, right? But David Allison came in with a counter offer for $31 per share, which was beats the Netflix at $27.75 deal per share. And David Allison kept pushing for that deal. He's like, he wanted to actually buy, and Warner Brothers initially did not give into it, but after a while Netflix just walked away. They walked away from the deal, and then Warner Brothers and Paramount agreed on that deal, and their co-CEOs literally just called the deal a nice to have. In the Netflix CEO I'm talking about, they said it was nice to have but not a must have. So, and they actually had to pay $2.8 billion termination fee to exit. That is $2.8 billion. And let's talk about why Paramount wanted it so badly. Because together these companies will have over 200 million direct-to-consumer subscribers, right? And that's the scale basically you need right now to beat Netflix and Disney right now, because they have the biggest numbers as subscribers. And Paramount Plus does not have that many, and HBO Max was bigger than Paramount, and bringing HBO Max and Paramount is got to be a good deal, right? And the way they were pushing it, they were just saying that this wasn't just basically they bullied their way in. Paramount wanted to make a statement. They intend to be a top tier player in this industry. That's what I believe. And now the question every DC fan actually wants answered. What happens to James Gunn? Gunn and Peter Safran took over DC Studios in 2022, with a mandate to build a cohesive universe from the ground up. And their early results, Creature Commandos and the 2025 Superman film, which actually did pretty well with critics and audiences, right? Creature Commandos, I really loved that animation. That was the starting point of the new DCU. After Superman is I was really excited, right? And Netflix, when initially offered, they actually also said that they want to keep James Gunn, right? And good news here is right now, Paramount is also wants to keep the creative team intact. But the way David Allison is, he supports you know who, right? He supports Republicans. He supports Trump. And the idea that he woke, in quotes, right? He thinks that the new movies are woke somehow, right? And he wants to be more conservative. I don't think that's gonna happen with DC at all, And it's good to hear that David Allison wants to keep the studio together. And probably the deal, these things take time, right? So by the time it's gonna be 2030, probably by then we'll see, James Gunn is exiting. Probably then the real change comes in. Right now it's too early to even tell the change that David Allison's and we don't even know that the whole thing is gonna be past the FCC approval or something like that, right? It's still ongoing, right? There's so many hurdles to pass to even get this deal approved. So we have to see that done, right? This is just the beginning, right? They just contract is signed, but the thing is the approval is needed, right? So let's get back on track with this DC thing. Even James Gunn himself has spoken about this. He has a decade-long plan. Very loose, right? Enough to adapt, but he has a clear, big story direction. And the release date that right now, the next movie that is coming this year is Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow, and then Clayface. Honestly, these two movies, they are not gonna have these Marvel numbers. They're not gonna be big. They're not gonna be huge, but they're gonna be enough to sway public opinion on these characters. And then when the sequel comes in, and only then we'll get to know that okay, the DCU is on track, right? Because these are Supergirl, not big enough. Clayface, not big enough, right? And Clayface is gonna be written by horror genius Mike Flanagan, right? And it drops September 11th, and Supergirl drops in June 26th this year. And then also, from what I hear, there's gonna be an animated feature featuring Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, which is set for 2028, right? But that's far in the future, right? That's still early stages. The animated series is probably gonna take time. But there's a whisper of tension among people, right? Because reports are suggesting that the Paramount co-chair, Josh Greenstein, has already been talking to, weapons director Zach Kreger about a DC project. Apparently, he's not even checked with Gunn and Safran, so he's going out of his way to check with directors. He did not even consult Gunn and James Gunn and Safran, right? And could be a normal studio collaboration, or could be a early sign of corporate tug of war. But I'm hoping FCC does not approve it, because if lately there's a rumor going around, some leaks from Warner Brothers itself, that even they think that the deal might not go ahead. And if the deal doesn't go ahead, they'll get like a $10 billion, I don't know, dollars breakup fee that they have, right? They'll get that money and they'll be good, I guess. And they're not fuzzing over it to be approved, from what I see. And this could be taken differently, or by FCC or some other people, if you read Reddit lately, right? Specifically the Snyder Cut subreddit, if you go there, the energy is electric there. There are people claiming on Reddit that they have insider news that SnyderVerse is being still discussed internally at Paramount. And the logic is that Ellison loves high-profile event films, and Henry Cavill as Superman, Ben Affleck as Batman still has a massive culture weight. And Zack Snyder also has been seen sharing some of Henry Cavill Superman images on social media, which fans are reading as signal. I would say Zack Snyder fans are something. They think that Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck will just come back, and they'll just do the movie right after when the Justice League ended. No. One thing I also read was that because this deal has a Saudi backing, right? Is that a Saudi prince with a company who is backing them also likes these high-profile films, right? They want these high-profile event films, and they might get Zack Snyder to come back. That ship has sailed. Zack Snyder is not coming back as DCU. Pretty sure he's just sharing because Superman was one of the biggest projects that Zack Snyder ever did, and had actually made a lot of money, right? That's probably one of the only reason I'm gonna say is he's sharing these images, and people are just reading too much into it. And it would be it would be disservice to Guns, Superman, the new Superman, even waiting for the new Batman too, right? It's gonna be disservice to them, maybe if they could do it, but probably like a one-off Elseworlds project, right? Not to that fan base, but yeah, Zack Snyder fan base, Snyder Cut fan base is too toxic. I'm gonna say I don't see that happening at all. And let's talk about, what this means for your wallet. HBO Max and Paramount Plus, they're talking about they're going to merge into one service. And also, Allison said that he wants to keep the HBO brand premium and independent, which sounds great on paper, but the pricing is, I'm 100% sure that I increase the prices on the Paramount Plus, right? And right now, Paramount Plus runs at what, $13 ad free, and HBO Max is around $20. And when you merge both of these services, someone's going to feel cheated, right? Like either Paramount subscribers gonna face a price hike or the HBO subscribers, right? HBO subscribers, maybe they will see the premium brand got watered down, right? They will see, because HBO Max, from what I hear, like has the HBO Max is like, even I have HBO Max subscription. I watch Batman, like, it has so many good content there. I don't know anything about Paramount Plus, but from what I hear is Paramount Plus is not that great. And by having HBO Max library in there, they probably, say that, oh, look, we have all these services now, we have all these movies. Probably gonna be something, but yeah, I'm not. If HBO, if they merge it, I'm not gonna keep it. I'm gonna cancel my HBO Max service. Like me being in Canada, I don't directly get HBO Max. I get Crave. So through Crave, I get HBO Max, all the shows. But yeah, I don't feel like keeping it, honestly. Once the merge happens. So here's the bottom line: Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery are now a content powerhouse, holding Mission Impossible, Star Trek, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and the entire DC catalog. And there's gonna be a shareholder vote on March 20th this month, and it's probably like just a big formality that they're doing, right? The deal is happening. We already know it, and we are entering an era of high-profile event filmmaking and major consolidation with this deal. Whether it sparks a creative renaissance for DC or becomes a corporate mess, depends entirely on whether Allison keeps his word and lets the creatives do their job. And yeah, like with Allison, you already know that one of the main reasons he bought WB is because of CNN. And Donald Trump hates CNN. So let's hope Allison keeps his word and does not touch DC and let them do what they wanted to do. So let me know, are you guys Team Gunn, or are you hoping this merger brings back the SnyderVerse? And is the new combined streaming app going to be worth this price hike? And with that, for the past few weeks, we've been talking on AI, the dead internet theory. And if you haven't listened to those episodes, please go back if you're interested in it. And I'm going to be doing more episodes on that series as well. But if you follow me on Spotify, you know that this podcast is about multitude of things, right? So sometimes we do talk about those things, but we also keep it real on entertainment side, like movies, comics. I'm gonna be doing a few episodes on comics as well. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, smash the like button if you're on YouTube. And it generally makes a difference for a small creator like me. And if you're listening on Spotify, search for Tanveer Talks, hit follow, and so you never miss an update. And if you're listening from Spotify, find us on YouTube, search Tanveer Ramgarhia, subscribe and ring that notification bell. And this is Tanveer, and this has been Tanveer Talks. Stay tuned, stay nerdy, and I'll catch you on the next one.